welcome to This Week in Wrestling. I am Jennifer from Cultaholic, and joining me today is Sam and Adam.
Hello, how's it going? You alright?
I'm having a great time. How are
Good.
you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I always feel like I'm a bit nasty in these videos. So I'm going to be really, really like, sort of jovial and friendly today.
Really?
Yeah, I am big time. See? You look really nice today, Jen. And you, Sam.
Thank you very much.
I think you're both handsome individuals.
I'll give you a touch in.
Sam?
Oh, that's so nice. Oh, I love this Pachi.
Yeah.
More of him.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
Oh, okay. That was quick. Short-lived. But yes, it is the 4th of March today, and we might as well go to 2013.
Actually, before we do, this is quite a special week, isn't it? Something that you asked not to be brought up. Maybe I'll just save it for the birthdays. We'll save it for the birthdays.
Oh, okay, right,
Something's happening this week.
No, it's not.
What happened on the 4th, Jen?
On the 4th in 2013, it's Raw, and it's when Raw went old school.
Mm.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I really like old school ones.
So did I, when it's the blue
I wish they would
ring
make
and
it
it's
a
exciting.
proper yearly thing.
The big
like,
raw.
Yeah.
The letters and
I
everything.
loved it.
Yeah, I agree.
red, white, and blue ropes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's so good. Loved it. And then, yeah, really happy for this. It was basically the show began, and Taker would appear, and it was the first time since Raw 1000, which I can't remember really when that was.
It'd been a few months, I believe.
A few months, okay. And also, this I loved. It was Mae Young's birthday, like, celebration for her, even though it wasn't her birthday, but for another week or so. But that was amazing. I liked it. I'm a huge nostalgia person, though. Like, when it comes
the
anything
throwback
nostalgia.
stuff just makes me really happy.
Totally.
When that siren goes off at the beginning, the most I don't know why they thought that opening a TV show with a why that gets you in the right.
I want to see some
I'm
wrestling.
pumped.
So many like entrance
Whenever
music that start
ambulances
with a
go
siren
by.
though.
Yeah.
There's so many. So maybe it does get people.
They're
like,
running out of those intro stings, aren't they? Because they've had to reuse Taz's, the beep, beep, beep for Ciampa.
They had to use the shields as well.
What the?
Who did they use? No, like the police calling that. That's used for somebody for sanity.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Yes,
I
they've
didn't
used that.
even pick up on that.
That's the same.
Best opening sting for a theme ever. There's only one right answer, by the way.
Oh.
It's
Obviously
glass
they put
shattering.
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
Bret Hart's
Yeah, that's
screaming
what
guitar,
I was going for.
Oh, glass
No,
shattering.
the glass
As soon
shattering's
as you
cooler,
hear that,
isn't
you're like, wow!
If you
If you
smell,
smell.
So many.
What's up? This song?
No, right to censor. They have a big sting. That
Yes,
lasts
it's a very long sting.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I like this. I get excited and they don't do them. Well, they can't do them all the
No, you
time.
can't.
I wish they would do it.
Definitely can't
I
do
wish
all
they'd
the
make
time.
it like once a year. Like bring back a super old 80s pay-per-view, have the blue ring, do it all old school style. Mm-hmm. The wall of TVs instead of like
Oh, that would
green
be
screen and stuff.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Let's see what happened. What happened when Raw went old school. So Ryback defeated Antonio Cesaro.
Back when he had a first name.
Back when he had a first name. Doesn't need it now. Mark Henry defeated Zack Ryder.
In how long?
50 seconds.
Oh, poor Zach.
Oh, bless. The Miz defeated Dolph Ziggler. Jim Duggan defeated Jack Swagger.
Oh, by DQ. I don't remember how that match worked out.
No.
All that matters is Jack Swagger lost.
What's wrong with Jack? They should like each other. They're both proud Americans. I think there's less racism on Jim.
I know
Jim.
Jack Swagger might hate 2x4s. That might be where it stems
He's
from.
got a wood. Yeah,
Hates
that's
wood.
definitely it.
Oh, Team Hell No defeated the Primetime Players. Brodus Clay and Tensai defeated 3MB.
In
just
24 seconds. Poor Drew. Poor all of them, but
Poor
especially
Heath,
poor
man.
Drew.
Oh no, poor Heath.
No, come on.
Poor Jinder, just for saying
Jinder's
it.
Yeah,
real.
maybe not.
Alberto Del Rio defeated Wade Barrett. The New Age Outlaws defeated Epico and Primo, and CM Punk defeated Randy Orton, Sheamus, and The Big Show in a fatal four-way to earn a match against the Taker at WrestleMania.
Against the Taker, you're already on like abbreviated name terms with him. You haven't even met the guy
I'm,
yet, Jen.
freaking out. Look! Oh my gosh,
Oh yeah, lovely.
I'm really freaking out about that.
Yeah, go on. Let's. You're excited more so about meeting Michelle McCool, is that correct?
Oh no, I'm like super stoked to meet Michelle, but I'm really starting to, it's getting into my head now. Like,
I was going to say, if you were more excited to meet Michelle McCool, then
I should leave.
Yeah, maybe.
But
You're
no.
a big Taker guy as well, aren't you?
Right, okay, I'm more...
Greatest character in the history of wrestling for me.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
agreed.
super buzzing to meet Michelle because I genuinely think, like, we would get on and we could be pals, and I kind of hope it happens like that. But I'm really in my head about how do I say hello to him?
I was about to ask if we could role play.
Yeah. How do I...
I'm the Undertaker. Okay.
He's just finished a
What am I gonna
conversation,
call?
right? You're walking up to him, you're not quite sorted in your head, but he turns around and looks at you, and what do you say?
Mr. Taker. Oh, I don't want to say
what?
Mr. Taker.
Please call me Mark.
Mark.
Lights go out. Dong! Ryback appears out of nowhere. What do you do? What do you do?
I thought you were just going to go, it's Mr. The Undertaker to you.
Oh, I don't want to say Mr. Taker.
No, well, don't.
What did I say?
All right, Mark.
Mark.
Hey, Big Evil.
Hey, buddy.
How's it going? Booger Red, my main man. Why am I doing that voice?
Dead Man Inc. How you doing?
Okay, you've got to give him one compliment. What compliment do you pay him?
You don't have time to think. He's just turned around.
Just love you. Oh,
I really like your match with Mankind when you threw him off. And then threw. Was that meant to happen?
I can't wait for all the crowd questions. It's good. So
I
did
don't-
you know that he was going to go through the match?
Oh, bless. I'm so stoked.
Yeah, no, it's going
It's
to be
going to be
amazing.
unreal.
Wait,
Yeah.
Michelle McCool is her real name, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's such a cool name.
Isn't it amazing?
Cool.
I'm
A
so
McCool
buzzing. I
name.
really hope she thinks I'm cool.
You need to introduce yourself as Genocide. Please introduce yourself as Genocide.
Why would I do that?
You would have been the perfect valet for Mean Mark Callis or
It
the
could
under
have
any
been-
of them.
It might be a
you
peep show
think?
situation where Jen's building it up in her head and she's like, hello, I'm Jen. Hello, I'm Jen. Hello, I'm Jen. Hello, I'm the Undertaker.
That is exactly how it's going to go as well.
No, I'm the Undertaker. Right.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'll keep you posted.
Can you live stream it? Because I'd really like to see it. Not the event, just you encountering Big Mark for the first time.
I don't know.
I'm about to go say hello to the Undertaker, run up behind him, rub his hair.
Happy slap him, that's it again.
Oh, everybody loves
Is
Happy
it?
Slap.
No!
All right.
I hope not.
She was about to run outside and just beat up some old person.
Oh, don't. No, it was not. Oh, moving on, shall we? It's the 6th of March now, and we're going to 1972, and it's a birth! Oh,
Yeah.
New Japan Pro Wrestling is born. It runs its first ever show from the Ottawa Gymnasium in Tokyo, and there was 5,000 people in attendance. That's massive.
Yeah.
For first show.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
To understand this, you need to basically go back to the post-war period. Obviously, there was a lot of hatred for Americans after the bombs fell. There was a wrestler who was of Korean origin who renounced that and became a Japanese hero, like a big cultural hero called Riki Dozan. Riki Dozan, he ran this company called the Japan Wrestling Association, and he found 2 new stars, and they were Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba. And what happened there was that Riki Dozan was whiter than white. Everybody loved him. He was like a proper national hero. And then he was stabbed in a nightclub by a Yakuza member with a urine-soaked blade, and he kept on partying
How do you know
because
that?
he didn't want to show weakness. Died later, and it left a rift in the company. What happened then was Inoki and Baba went, this is all going to hell, let's stage a coup. So they try and take control of the company, and the company backs them off and puts them in their place, and somebody has to take the blame. They don't want to get rid of both of them because they're both such big draws, because Riki Dozan had spent so much time building them up to be these megastars. So they thought, we can make more money with Baba, not Inoki, and they kept Baba and they kicked Inoki out, basically. Inoki then went to form New Japan, and Baba would go off and form All Japan.
All Japan, yeah.
But yeah, it was quite a big thing, like a really big thing, because Inoki's known for, in a lot of people's eyes, for killing New Japan eventually, because he's sort of an early form of MMA fighter as well as a pro wrestler, but it was a massive, massive deal at the time when this all happened.
That's wild. So if this is 1972,
Yeah.
when did all that kick off then?
60s, late 60s, I believe, a few years prior.
Can I just point out, we've gone for a solid 2 minutes there. There's no knob gags. There's no sort of old 90s TV references. Nobody's doing any singing. We've just had a solid 90 seconds to 2 minutes of proper wrestling history, courtesy of Sam Driver. There,
that's
huge.
Good. I've learned.
Yeah, me too. No, it's exactly the same.
But yeah, the reason they had such a big draw was because
we should swap Jen out for you.
We should. Yeah. See you later.
I'll get a wig and everything. My time's coming up. Jeez, oh. Sam, don't do it. That's boring. No one wants to know about your Japan. No, I do. I loved it. Thank you.
I don't recognise too many names on this card, by the way.
I can't pronounce too many names on this card, Sam, so can you
El Furioso I've heard of. Fujinami I've heard of.
Fujinami.
Gotcha Inoki I have.
Ivan Kalmikov. I think one of the reasons that New Japan did well was, as well, like sort of later on, they were the first professional sports league to bring in Russians after the fall of the Soviet Union. So like I think there was like a little bit of flirting back and forth with that sort of stuff, and then the second that it came down, it was like, come over here. But that's Inoki was bringing in guys that were like, I'm a kickboxer, and they would just beat people up.
Where did they get the money to start it?
I don't know. It was probably, I imagine Inoki will have been quite wealthy because he was a major star.
Yeah, business loan or something.
And I'd imagine he will have had business partners,
Gotcha. Okay.
Gone into business. See who else. Karl Gotch defeated Inoki in the main event. And
look at that, the booker.
Yeah.
Not booking himself to win on the first show.
Yeah.
That's big as well. That does not happen.
Wouldn't get that in the EWE, would you?
Did Inoki and Giant Baba, did they fall out?
As far as I'm aware, there was a little bit of rivalry because of All Japan and New Japan, and characters like Tiger Mask would move between companies, and there was quite the rivalry there. And then what would eventually happen with All Japan echoes what happened with JWA, in the sense that Giant Baba dies, Giant Baba's widow takes over the company, and she starts bringing in Americans and Westerners, and the Japanese talent are like, no. And then Misawa, who everybody knows Misawa, he was the big star in All Japan, or one of the big stars, and he was so unhappy that he walked out with, like, I think 75% of the roster and started Pro Wrestling Noah. So it happens throughout history in Japanese wrestling.
So how did New Japan become the big dog again that it is now? Because it dwarfs.
So there were dark days where Inoki would... I mean, Inoki resigned as president later on, but not quite early on, actually, I think. But he still had control in the company. He was brought back eventually. And he loves real martial arts. He likes fighting. He likes MMA. He likes kickboxing. He likes pro wrestling. But he liked cards where there was a mix. And he liked to mix talent. So it's the reason you had guys like Nakamura having to go learn how to fight MMA, because they wanted this sort of shoot wrestling style, and like shoot boxing, shoot fighting. And the public sort of wavered on that, and they were like, we just want to see some wrestling. Like, it used to be really good. He was then pushed out because they weren't making any money, and it went through like a dark period, and then slowly, like through ownership and really building people and solid booking, they managed to get themselves to where they are today. They've got big corporate sponsors. Like, it's sort of like the ultimate like comeback story, I think, in wrestling, is New Japan coming back, because for a while it looked like they were done. Like, really done.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Wow, I've really learned something there.
Yeah, we just do history of wrestling podcast.
Yeah, I think we probably should.
I really enjoyed that. Oh well, good. Happy days.
And from one fun story to another.
Oh, biggest historical thing that ever happened.
It's not a death, at least.
No, it's not a death, but
it's the death of a career.
Suicide. Yes.
Right. Yeah, so 6th of March 2015. This was 4 years ago.
Yeah, I know. I thought that when I was like, oh what? Man, I thought it was 2 years ago.
4 years ago, Bill DeMott would quit his job at the WWE Performance Center.
Quit, yes. He was basically told, go or you're done.
Well, we don't know that. And it's an interesting thing, I think, with like the big JBL scandal, for example.
Yeah.
Big bully. And sure, he was taken off of full-time commentary sometime after, but he's still employed, and he still pops up on the pre-show. He just did the Royal Rumble, obviously. This is one of the few times that I can think maybe public pressure really did make a difference.
Yeah,
I mean, the stories that were coming out were enough.
Yeah, and there was a photo, and the If you're unaware, Bill DeMott was accused of being a heavy-handed trainer, I guess, and being just unprofessional. There's a photo of who is it? It's Zack Ryder's receiving the stink face. But it's a bare-arsed stink face, and it was apparent it was not part of a match.
He would make people train naked. He would make certain
reportedly. This is all
reportedly, allegedly, he had these strange practices that involved sort of just hazing. Bill DeMott, for anybody that's sort of going, I know that name. Where do I know him from? He was in WCW as General Huge Erection, but it all came to a head. It was really bad, wasn't it?
I remember it being massive. A big old Twitter scandal, hashtags.
Yeah, I remember it being
or whatever it was.
Super big as well. Yeah. And it's a weird one, and it's actually quite topical because obviously I'll just bring it up, like the Corey Graves tweets and stuff that's happened like today at time of filming.
And Corey's defended him, is that right?
Yeah, he's defended him.
Well, he said that it was basically back in my day, what DeMott did wasn't considered bullying. It was
training,
coaching, and
2014.
It was getting paid to train. That was basically his angle. You're getting paid to train. That's not bullying.
But is it training? Do you learn anything from having a man's buttocks in your face? Jen?
No.
No, you know what I mean.
I know. It's a weird one though because wrestling is far. I mean, I don't know. I've never trained, right? So I'm not even going to kid on. I know the first thing about what happens, but the stories you do hear it's hard going and it's very. I mean, it's not a primary school. It's not finger painting your way through the thing. It's hard, and it's to instill something in you.
You can instill that without the things that
I
you
don't.
doing.
Look who you're talking to. I'd be if I could, I would just be cuddling everybody and stuff. But it's
I think this incident marked a massive change in the world of professional wrestling in the sense of a lot. If you go back and you listen to guys like Cornette talk about the territory days, or if you go back and you listen to shoots about the plane ride from hell, or the way that certain people like Hayes would behave with the Hardy Boys, wrestling was all about working hard and playing harder, but it was always at the expense of somebody else. Yeah,
it's a dominance thing, isn't it? Because there's that much testosterone about the place.
And I get it. You're preparing these people for anything that may be thrown at them. They might be thrown out into a ring and have to do something, but at the same time, you can't.
It's a human being.
Yeah, allegedly, what happened, you can't do that.
Yeah. No, I like the fact that it's not a boys' club anymore. You hear stories now, and it was hey, backstage you used to be horrible, and they would
get on Rick Rogers' Twitter.
Back
in my day.
But now it's apparently just what are essentially young professionals. They're intelligent and they're very sort of social media savvy and all that.
They've got a whole scheme now to allow their talent and their staff to get degrees.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a step in the right direction. I don't miss the boys' club thing. Sure, they make for some fascinating stories. For our lists, great. I'm glad that people
Absolutely. I'm so glad that we've moved on as a world, in general, as a society. That it's not okay.
Totally. You cuck. Somebody will say it in the comments. Somebody will say it.
Moving on. It's the 7th of March. Oh, it's a great day.
This is a great day.
It's a great day. 7th of March, and we'll take you to 1999, and it's a huge debut. It is the debut of Kurt Angle.
But it wasn't
a huge debut for him.
It was on Heat.
But in general,
in terms of the gravitas of the debut,
Well, this is the weirdest thing. This isn't his match. He had a match with Sean Stasiak, I believe, was his first pay-per-view match. But he popped up on Heat. Tiger Ali Singer's in the ring doing his heel shtick and kiss my feet and all that sort of stuff. And Kurt Angle hops the barricade and ends up taking him out with an overhead belly to belly. And you just Heat.
But he
was a big
He was a big deal.
He was a big deal back in the day.
Well, he was an Olympic gold medalist.
No, Heat was the actual show. Yeah. I thought Heat was a big deal.
It was. I mean, it's not as big as SmackDown.
Oh no.
So I mean, you're talking about an Olympic gold medalist who debuted.
But
if it went over and it stunk. You wouldn't have to sully one of your shows with it.
Plus, it was very controversial what they did. I personally think.
Yeah, it wasn't as controversial as what stopped him signing with ECW. if you're aware of this story. So Angle, they were down in Pittsburgh, and I'm pretty sure the show was in Pittsburgh. Anyway, Angle went along, and they were trying to scout him to come and work for ECW.
Really
he was keen.
Really?
And then they ran an angle with Raven and Sandman.
Crucified Sandman.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was crucified, and Angle said, "Do not make sure my face isn't anywhere to be seen in this.
My name, anything, or I'll take you to court."
Yeah, absolutely. And so maybe, I don't know what his contract status was at this point. Maybe they hadn't had him signed yet, so they did it.
I know that around this time he was getting a lot of crap in the press. People were like, "You've sold your soul to like the WWF, which isn't a real sport." And it's like because he's an Olympic athlete, people expected better of him and stuff. And
that's annoying.
You go on to have like a legacy, obvious Hall of Fame career,
and be one of the funniest people ever.
Yeah.
Full stop.
Yeah, generally when people transition from sports, they don't show the level of charisma and humour.
They don't
brilliant.
take to it. They don't take to it as fast.
Like,
apparently,
he gets it, doesn't he?
Of
course he does, Kurt Angle.
But when Angle got to training, he just wouldn't stop until he was able to do everything that was asked of him. He'd just keep going.
That's amazing. He brings that kind of Olympic mentality.
On the other side of it, apparently, when I was listening to a podcast recently, when Vince got in the ring, that's when rings started getting softer. And that's when the cage changed, so it wasn't big and hard and blue, and it was a nice soft grate. And Vince would be like,
soft,
piece of piss getting thrown into that.
It's softer than
yeah.
It's got a bit of give. And also, apparently, Tom Pritchard would give him training in like '99, and he'd be like, "I'll be at training at 7," and he'd turn up at 2 a.m. and he'd just have to train him. So you've just got to sit and wait for Vince. As Angle's just like, because what are you going to do? Tell him no?
Yeah, exactly. That's nuts. But
and then Angle's just there, just slaving away, doing whatever he can.
Well, lad.
I didn't remember this part. I just looked down at the notes here. Offered $500 to blow his nose on the American flag, and then instead Angle blows his nose on the Indian flag.
Which might be why they buried it on here.
Recall that.
Because was he aired in India? Because that's such a big
fan
base.
But it's like, that's for an Olympic gold medalist to do that.
That's pretty nuts, isn't
pretty
it?
wild. That's how controversial it was. Like,
America.
But, yeah, and plus also, it was just a weird debut.
It was a different
a weird on-camera debut.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I'm so glad he was there. Because I love Kurt Angle.
Yeah, same. Wonderful man.
We love you, Kurt.
Yeah, right.
What an odd ending.
Okay, so it's the 8th of March and it's 2010. And it's TNA we're going to go to. And this is where we would see Hogan and Flair wrestle again.
It's what everybody wanted, especially with Flair after such a pathetic send-off at WrestleMania. We thought, one more match in Impact, please.
And that god-awful episode of Raw where he cried and everybody came out and wished him well.
Yeah. It wasn't touching at all. I didn't cry. Put him in a tag match on TNA. Come on, it's the Monday Night Wars, baby.
With Abyss as well. With Abyss.
What's wrong with... Whoa. What's your beef with Abyss?
Oh, no, I love Abyss. It's just Ric Flair...
it's not, to be fair, it's not really a
Abyss and Hulk
head.
Hogan versus Ric Flair and AJ Styles. Like, they all work as individual factors. It just doesn't... Something about Ric Flair squaring up to Abyss in a ring just doesn't work with me. Like,
I can't remember the specifics of the storyline here. I remember all the Hall of Fame ring stuff with Abyss and Hogan, and that's why they were together. I don't remember why this happened.
It's not the start of, like, Fortune or anything like that.
I can't remember offhand.
Exciting.
It didn't do well.
No, it
it didn't. Was this when was TNA? Was it going downhill at this point?
It was well off the cliff at this point.
It?
It was, well, people were excited about it at this point.
The second they signed
still.
with Hogan.
Hogan just obviously.
Because I quite like the Hogan time, but like.
Do you really?
I do like a TNA. Yeah,
I guess it's like they've been driving through like a really muddy forest and the windshield's covered and they're well off the cliff, but they haven't hit the windscreen wipers yet to see where they're.
So it's just like, like we might be fine. But yeah, no, I didn't watch this, so I have no idea if it was any good or not.
I think we can make a fair guess.
I'm guessing it's not.
It was a big show.
But we'll see who's like, because there's like good names on it.
Right,
so.
Van Damme
really
debuted.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah, Van Damme TNA debut and everything.
That's good.
But the interesting thing I noticed here is that the replay of the show on Thursday almost did more viewers than the live show, the Monday show,
but
the premiere.
Is that maybe a Monday thing?
It's probably because
it's a
people
Raw
are
thing,
used
I
to-
think.
Because this was
People
then
were
when
used to
they were
watching
trying to like
TNA.
try and go ahead with like
Yeah.
was that
Yeah,
them trying
yeah,
to
yeah,
compete?
yeah.
Right. Okay. So that wasn't. Yeah, that's not smart. But
I mean, the
there's-
level of names is unreal.
like,
Like,
there's so many good names. Let's look. So yeah, obviously there was the title like Abyss and Hulk Hogan against AJ and Ric Flair, which was then rebooked for later in the show. Then Doug Williams defeated Daniels and Kazarian. The Beautiful People defeated Angelina Love and Tara. No, wait, was Angelina Love not in the Beautiful People?
Angelina Love and Tara
At that
and
point.
Sarita and
No,
Taylor
I thought
in
she
a
was
triple
at
threat
that
tag
point.
match.
Oh, right. Oh, I mean, Awesome Kong, I love it. Rob Van Dam made his debut, defeated Sting in 10 seconds. What?
hold on.
Oh, Van Dam was
The
assaulted.
titles were vacated when Awesome Kong was released from the company following an altercation with shock jock Bubba the Love Sponge, who would go on to allow Hulk Hogan to sleep with his wife on video and his entire career.
I believe
to
it was
unravel.
happening at this time.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
I've not got my timeline quite right there. Yeah. And then Foley punched Bubba the Sponge. Bubba Sponge, that's his surname. In the face. Legit. It's a great clip. It's on
Really?
YouTube. Yeah,
Is
you've seen
it?
that. Yeah, no,
I've
Foley's
not seen
backstage.
that.
He does a promo. I think Foley's trying to leave. Bubba gets in his face for an interview, and it's all like, it's at work, obviously. Puts the thing in his face, and he's like, I don't want to talk right now, Bubba. I don't want to talk. And he snaps at him, and he legit punches him, because Awesome Kong and Foley were very good
They're
friends.
yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, wild. Yeah, Rob Van Dam made his debut against Sting. Eric Young defeated Six Pack. Beer Money defeated Jeff Jarrett in a handicap match.
With Mick Foley
Foley's
as special
this-
guest.
That sounds great. And then it would be.
Does it sound great?
I think that does.
Lots
sound
of
good.
big names, but was it great?
I'd like to watch
Yeah,
Jeff Jarrett
maybe
get
not,
beaten
but
around the ring.
I would like to see that. I want to watch that.
I'm sure it's on
going
YouTube
to
somewhere.
watch
Yeah,
that.
definitely. You
I'm going to watch
absolutely
that.
should.
And then
You
I'll get
fill us
back
in
to you
about
with
it,
my
yeah.
professional opinion.
Please do.
But I like everyone in that. Anyway.
Bubba the
and
Love
then-
Sponge especially.
Sorry?
Nothing. Carry on.
But yeah, so that was TNA.
Yeah, that was what it was.
It was a thing.
9th of March in 2001. This was ECW, and it's the cancellation, sadly, of Living Dangerously, just 2 days before it was about to take place. Now, this is a weird one because I was like reading into this. So they didn't have a TV deal for it. They
Didn't have a pay-per-view deal.
Yeah.
Didn't have a venue.
They didn't have a venue. How did they let it get to 2 days before this? I don't
Because
understand.
There
Tickets
was
were sold.
So much happening, I guess. Heyman had appeared on, was it Raw? Heyman had appeared on WWE TV, and that was apparently when the talent knew there's
it
no
was,
more ECW. That's it done. Like they tuned in, and somebody saw it, and it was like flick the channel over, and they saw Heyman, and it was like,
But like,
Christ.
how? 2 days
But then
before.
Heyman would apparently go back to them and say, like, I was trying to get, in good with them so that when it all went wrong, then you'd all have jobs. But a lot of people are like, was he though? Because Heyman has a bit of a reputation. But yeah, it's just a shame because ECW was a fantastic little company that could, like, but
It scared them. Definitely scared, like WWE. Well, maybe not scared, but definitely they took notice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they
they
certainly
ended up
did.
with a working relationship in the mid-90s, and
Some of the Attitude Era was heavily
Heavily
influenced
based, yeah,
God, yeah.
on
totally.
ECW stuff. But it only has a sort of finite fan base, doesn't it? It's a niche.
I like it.
And TV.
Like, I really
no,
do.
I enjoy it as well.
But it's not something I watched like back in the year. It's something I went a promotion.
it
I
was
went back
lightning
and
in a
watched.
bottle.
true.
It was the right time. It was the right place. Like, I enjoy CZW from time to time.
Yeah.
I think there is a place for ultra-violent wrestling, so long as the wrestling is wrestling and it's not just two guys that aren't really fully trained. Like,
But I think that goes for any kind of wrestling
But
match. Like if you're
I
not,
just think ECW had something for everybody, and it's something that CZW's been trying to do and are succeeding with a lot more. They have a lot more athletic
Proper
talent.
wrestling now, yeah.
They have sort of a high flying division, which is they bring that sort of hardcore athleticism to it as well as the hardcore like weapon stuff. But ECW just had the right roster, it had the right place, the right fan base.
it had
and
a wee bit of everything for
Yeah.
everyone. But
And a fearless
without
leader.
it being for everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would argue that it had something for everyone. I just think it was too adult to be like you would not let your kids.
No,
watch
I meant
ECW.
something for everybody at an adult level. You
Oh, okay,
wouldn't
sure.
let- yeah, I think like you could tune in there. There was an athletic match. There was like you'd have Joel Gertner just spitting out really obscene crap.
Yeah, yeah. You've got
there'd
your
be
New
some,
Jack,
like-
and then you've got your Jerry Lynn on the
Yeah.
other side of things, right?
That's
And
it.
doing-
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's a shame, yeah. It is a shame, and it's been milked to death now. The ECW name it is over, not just
Yeah.
because of the WWE ECW, which came back on
Yeah.
Sci-Fi, obviously, but
Yeah.
every promotion
a
has done an
shame
ECW sort of homecoming thing
Yeah.
and bollocks.
But that's good, and I think now's I'm glad that it's all kind of like done now, because it's nice to just look back in memory.
And who would have
Yeah.
thought that the perhaps biggest star out of all of it would be Heyman himself?
Yeah.
Him. Bet
Yeah.
he knew.
Over
all
Dreamer,
along.
over Sabu, over RVD.
Sandman.
Yeah, the one with
Raven,
the
everyone.
yeah. Raven deserved better.
Well, Steve Austin actually.
He can't, I know he was there for a spell.
He-
I
Come
know.
on.
Okay, he's not like
He's
this
not an ECW
synonymous.
guy.
Although a lot of the Stone Cold character was starting to shapen up in ECW with the whole Superstar Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like his promos obviously were fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get you.
Oh, ECW, we love you. Okay, it's the 10th of March and it's 1997, and that is, well, my childhood. Raw is War. It would
The
become,
branding is born.
We, yes, we would no longer just be Monday Night Raw, but now we are Raw is War.
That would continue
And
to
that is just-
2001, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is legit, like what I remember, like the logo, everything like that. That's my just memory, childhood. Like, see if I have to think of wrestling back in the day, Raw's War logo. That's it.
Yeah.
That's 100% all I
Totally
see.
with you.
Beautiful People by Marilyn Manson
For a
was
bit.
Yeah.
For a bit.
for the start of it, because
then it went,
issue it like
Then it went into Thorn in My Eye, didn't it?
It's the bus, it's the
Yeah.
bus, it's the power to be, press the punch, papa. Yeah, that one.
did they use
And then it
Beautiful
would
People
go
for a
into-
pay-per-view as
It
well?
went SmackDown. SmackDown's theme.
Yes.
Ah, right,
Yeah.
okay, that was what it was.
But it also, they still had All Together Now or whatever it was, like, we're all together.
Yeah.
Because that was a
I
second when
picture
the
them, they're
fireworks
all-
went off. It was like,
and they're all scrapping in the ring.
So good.
Yeah, it was brilliant,
so
wasn't
good.
it? Just getting so pumped up for that.
Yeah, totally. She
every
would just
week.
be like,
You don't
"What?"
get that anymore. Like the last one that I used to get pumped up for, and people are gonna hate me for
Nickelback.
this. Yeah, burn
Me
it to
too.
the ground.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's my pre-game
We're going
song.
out
I was
tonight,
like,
and then if you're live there, everyone's doing it. It was so
Brilliant.
good.
It's so
Screw
good.
Nickelback, obviously.
The thing
No,
that
I love
No,
Nickelback.
right.
Great
I'm
gig,
not gonna be one of those
honestly.
people.
It was just the
Brilliant
intro video. Like, I remember having like one of the worst games ever, WWF Warzone for the
It
PS1.
wasn't one of them. Okay,
It was
carry on.
terrible.
Yeah,
It was awful, but it was my first wrestling game. I loved it to pieces. It's a
Same.
piece of crap, but I loved it. And that had the Raw intro, and as somebody that couldn't watch Raw live every week, getting to see the whole Austin walking through the like flaming buildings and stuff, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
It was just
It was.
amazing.
It's just the best time ever. So about this Raw, we'll have a wee look and see what was going on with it. Oh, this is also, sorry, wee side note. The first Raw with Vince Russo as head writer.
Right.
It's believed. There you go.
The start of a very beautiful, very quick thing that goes very wrong very quickly.
There was some really good points.
There was some great moments,
Really,
yeah.
really great points. So just credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't all bad.
Bro.
But let's see what happened. So Rocky Maivia defeated Tony Roy in a non-title match.
Big fan of Tony Roy. You familiar?
What was the title? No. What was the title?
At that time, Maivia.
Was it in the
IC
Continental?
maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
would
it
have
must have
IC,
been. Yeah.
1997?
Yeah.
Perroth Heavy Metal and Pentagon defeated Latin Lover, Hector Garza. No,
Garza, Hector Garza.
And Octagon.
Wonderful band. Heavy Metal. I don't remember Heavy Metal. Wasn't that
Neither
one of the
do I.
names on Pro Wrestling Secrets Revealed?
It was it not the name of a Robot War robot?
It was in the name of a Robot War robot
Heavy
as well.
Metal.
Yeah.
What's that? I just remember like Sir Kill-A-Lot and.
No,
I
Heavy
think
Metal was one.
Was it not
Shunt,
one of the later ones?
maybe it
when they-
was.
when
Heavy
they did the
Metal.
rebrand?
Shunt
Oh.
Matilda.
Matilda.
Ref
Bash a
bot
lot.
later.
Bash.
Sergeant Bash.
Bash
Bash a lot.
Sergeant
That's me
Bash.
every weekend.
Right.
I love that they had Pentagon versus Octagon, though. That's really cool.
No, yeah. I'm
Um,
sure Jerry Lawler made that
Yeah.
joke many times during the.
Yeah.
The new Blackjacks defeated Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. Miguel Perez defeated Leif Cassidy. Billy Gunn defeated Aldo Montoya.
Just incredible.
Oh, right. I was like, what's that name? But I know now.
I forgot that he was there at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goldust defeated Tim
McNeely.
Who's that?
Wasn't he one of the?
Tim McNeely.
That's not. It's not Tim McVeigh.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Not Timothy McVeigh. That's a different thing.
Okay, yeah.
Who's Tim McVeigh?
The
Doesn't matter.
Oklahoma City Bomber. Let's
yeah.
move on.
Oh, I thought
That's who popped into my head. I didn't know.
Oh, I thought he was a country and western singer. Who's that?
He might have been as well.
Tim McGraw.
Tim McGraw.
Yeah. Again,
Oh,
not.
they're Tims, do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
Shout
bad.
out to Tim Smith, my high school film studies teacher.
Oh.
Tim Minchin. Tim Hayward, one of my best friends.
Tim
Tim Minchin's
Westwood.
wonderful. Tim
Westwood.
Westwood. Clown.
Oh,
Are there any
God,
wrestling Tims? Tim's not a very threatening name, is it?
No.
When you think about
Oh,
it.
I know, Tim Wiley. He's a wrestler.
Oh yeah, no, I know the name. I know the name.
And just to throw it back to
Tim. Spat everywhere. Sorry, Jed.
to throw back to Inoki, it's not Tim, but it's close. His first name when he went off on excursion and he was working in the US was Tokyo Tom.
That's cool.
Oh,
I like
he sounds adorable.
that. Tokyo Tom.
Oh, I love it. Vader and Mankind defeated Undertaker and Psycho Sid. And then there was a post-show dark match with The Undertaker defeated Farouk and another one where Psycho Sid defeated Bret Hart in a steel cage. Ooh.
Ooh,
Taker and
And
Sid
it was a
pulling
title
double duty.
match.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
97, what a time.
That is a great, wow. Good times, 97. Big fan. Right, so 10th of March 2014. And the headline of this is Bryan Occupies Raw. And this is basically Daniel Bryan getting his match at Mania.
And
Yeah.
WWE capitalising on the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I thought that's why it was that. Yeah, it was at that time. Yeah.
What's Occupy Wall Street?
Where
the-
everybody
the
went
corporation
like,
made
let's
the
shut
most of the
down
anti-corporate.
everything. Let's go and put our tents up on Wall Street. And it did shut down Wall Street for a little bit, and then they went, move you hippies. And that was it. Like, that was sort of... It was a shame.
It was a great moment,
It was a great
this.
moment.
Oh.
Everyone in their Daniel
Yeah,
Bryan
this-
shirt.
that was amazing.
We can all picture Triple H.
It was
and
amazing.
Anger, yeah,
It was so good. In fact, they used that, I remember that being on like a video package for Bryan recently. Was it when he came back or was it on, has he done a 24 or something?
Did the Miz show it as part of one of his, you know, when
Wait,
the Miz
that
had
might have been it. And I
made
was
his
just
video
like,
package on
oh,
SmackDown.
so good.
Yeah, it was
They were
a
good.
fantastic moment.
It was brilliant.
And
just,
led to one of the greatest sort of WrestleMania stories ever. Or was part of that story, I guess.
the Yes movement.
Yeah.
Fully there.
Not
Loved
anymore.
it.
Fickle. Hopefully he's not scrapped that by the time this goes out.
Could you imagine?
I'm sure they'll remember.
He just comes out next week and eats a massive steak and has a big leathery belt. No metal or jewels, just all leather.
I love that belt.
Still
Leather
bleeding.
and veal.
I love that. See, when they do replicas, that's the one I'm getting.
Yeah, right. It's a beautiful looking
That is-
belt, isn't
I
it?
wonder
is
if
the
they'll
one
still
I'm
charge
getting.
380 quid.
Yeah, I think they will.
But bit of burlap sack and burnt wood.
It's the one I want. It's the one I want. We do sadly have a couple of deaths, though. So, March the 10th in 2007, sadly, we would lose Ernie Ladd, who was 68. This one is really, super sad for me. Like, March the 5th, 2013, we would lose Paul Bearer.
I've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Paul Bearer, Percy Pringle, his real name is. I believe his website is still up. There's a gallery of photos on there which are fascinating, and I'd recommend anyone go and look at them. It's a lot of backstage stuff of Percy and
Who took them?
I don't know. Like some of them, I think were taken because
Must be somebody.
Bearer's not in all of them, but they're amazing and a real glimpse into an often unseen part of wrestling. Obviously, this is before
Especially that
WWE
time,
had backstage
yeah.
photographers doing everything. It didn't really happen so much. They're really great. A hell of a manager.
Yeah, he's my favourite manager.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's my favourite manager.
He's up there with Heenan, but
Yeah. Oh, no,
yeah,
I think it's
I don't
just
wanna-
me. That is a personal preference, though,
Yeah.
just because it was all very spooky and theatrical, and that was that's my thing.
They made the right choice ditching Brother Love. I will say that much.
Yeah.
From Taker, it didn't
Yeah,
work.
no,
Bearer,
Bearer, that was
classic.
just, that's who you think of.
So glad that he got one last run of it as well.
Love him.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a sad day. March the 6th in 2007, sadly, we would lose Bad News Brown.
Very hard man.
Yeah, and like an Olympic champion as well.
Is that right?
I think, yeah, he was what was the bronze in the 1976 Olympics.
I did not know that. Yeah, he's a name that often sort of goes unmentioned when you talk about that era of wrestling. But he was a big draw as well.
He was like a real, like proper real life tough guy.
Oh yeah,
people were like kept in line
because he was
by
like
him
power
backstage
lifter and stuff like that. But it wasn't.
Everybody had a lot of respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was sad. And then on March the 6th in 2004, we would lose Hercules Hernandez, who was 47.
Yeah, I remember being terrified of him as a kid. Chains, beard. He was a big man and died pretty young again, obviously.
Sad.
As is often the way.
But we've got birthdays!
We do!
Woo! Loving it.
Yeah.
Right. March the 4th. I would like to wish a very happy, what age are you? 33rd birthday to Dalton Castle. In Ring of Honor, so happy birthday. We've got a March the 5th. I would like to give a happy birthday to Marty the Moth Martinez.
Oh, okay.
So it's his birthday.
Sorry for missing you, Moth.
I
apologise.
Was that what you were on
34.
about in the start? Was
No, we'll get to that shortly.
That was
Sure.
who it was.
Was that,
No, that was
sure?
who it was. That was who it was.
Are you sure?
So happy birthday, Marty. March the 6th, happy birthday to Val Venus, who's 48.
Give us your best hello, ladies. Come on.
No.
Hello,
ladies.
ladies.
I can't do the throat. That was a belter, though.
Thank you.
Oh.
I can't do the throat. Go you.
Smoking 40 a
No,
day
it's-
at the moment.
I can't. Yeah, no. It's
Hello. I used to do
My
it all the
voice
time.
is too
Like
high pitched. I'd be
aerated.
like, hello. So happy birthday, Val Venus. March the 6th, also happy birthday to Ken Anderson.
Mr.
Mr.
Kennedy.
Kennedy's 43.
Susie's dad.
Vince's real son.
So
It's his real son, that's right, yeah.
happy birthday. Oh, March the 7th. Happy birthday to Brother
Oh, I
Love.
just slagged him off
Yeah,
there,
I
just
know,
didn't
I
I?
was
him
like,
off.
and it's his birthday week.
Now
How
got a very
brutal.
successful podcast.
Yeah, he's wonderful, isn't he? He's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a nice guy as well.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does seem like
I
a
like him.
really nice guy. So happy birthday, 56. So who have we got next? March
Everybody's
the 7th.
favorite wrestler.
I actually was like, who is this? I had to look it up and then I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Uh,
with
I
safe
didn't even
search
know
on.
who they were until,
Yes. 'Cause
until like I started editing list videos in general, and it was a point, and I was like, who?
I didn't have a clue, and then so happy, but still, it's your birthday, and that's great. So,
Major Guns, by
Major
the way. You didn't even
Guns,
mention that. Okay.
I'm about to say her name. I
About
was
to
like,
do it.
Major Guns, who's
Sorry.
47. She's an NWO girl, if you don't know.
Amongst other things.
That's all we'd want to know. Next, moving on. Happy birthday on the 7th also to Chase Owens, who's 29. 29. So young. Also on March the 7th. Oh gosh, talk about young.
Sickening.
Yeah.
Happy-
He's 16 today. Screw him. I hate the talented bastard.
Quinceañera, like,
Makes me sick.
Tyler Bate is 22.
Piss
22.
off.
Wild. Happy birthday, Tyler. On March the 8th, happy birthday to Chad Gable, who's 33.
I hope by the time this video goes out, he's doing something proper.
Yeah.
I don't like the rude Gable thing.
No.
Gable deserves better.
We'll see.
Rude doesn't.
Oh.
No, he's not done anything
I know,
wrong.
I was like
It's
that.
just
What's happened? Anyways,
Salty
birthdays.
Pacini.
Birthdays. You were supposed to be
Yeah,
nice
sorry.
this
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gable.
Woo! He's doing so well.
Woo.
Right, okay, March the 9th. Happy 40th to Melina. 40, lovely. Also on the 9th, happy 50th birthday, Rick Steiner. And then March the 9th, also a happy 48th birthday to Tiger Ali Singh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, do you know what? There's some people that have been mentioned. I
Yeah,
feel like,
right.
On their
Yeah.
birthday week. This is lovely. And then on March 10th, bringing it up, a happy 25th birthday to Jojo.
94. Goodness me. But
Ridiculous.
before we wrap things up,
What's
this
what's
week,
going on?
and I can't remember the date offhand.
I kind of made
What a
big
good
deal
friend.
about it. I know.
What?
So that'll be my presents.
Was it the 7th?
The one day, though, there was nobody written down.
The 7th?
5th.
It's the 5th!
There's 4 people born on the 7th. 4 birthdays on the 7th.
Yeah, I know. I was testing you. On the 5th is the birthday of Jennifer Louise. So a huge round of applause.
Hey.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jennifer Louise. Happy birthday to you. Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Hip, hip. Hip, hip.
Send all gifts and vouchers to Adam Pacitti.
Amazon gift
Cultaholic.
card. Digital's fine. Admin@cultaholic.com.
This is his
Don't worry
PayPal
about
on
it.
screen right now.
Cheers, I'll pass them on maybe. Naughty 40, Jen. How does that feel? The big 4-0.
Just end it there while I batter him.
Happy birthday, Jen. Genuinely.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day in a month's time.
It's not a month. Yeah, it is. So that has been This Week in Wrestling. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so here. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic, then please join our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and join us.